Look, I think the 49ers just blew what has been, to this date, their best opportunity to win a Super Bowl under Kyle Shanahan. With that said, I still feel insanely bullish about their future, and I will guarantee you right now, we are recording this on Monday, February 13th, 2024. I guarantee you, in the next 3 years, the San Francisco 49ers will win at least one Super Bowl. Not a doubt in my mind. Mark it down, save it. You want to laugh at me 3 years from now? I will sit here and be your piñata. But if I'm right when I'm right, you better believe this video right now you are watching and or listening to, it's going to be recirculated. I still feel really confident in the future of the 49ers for 3 reasons. I know if you're watching this as a Niner fan, you're probably still hurting. You're still probably upset. I get it. I feel you. But you got to realize your future is still really bright, and I think better days are coming ahead. Again, for 3 reasons, I want to bring them down or break them down for you really quickly here. Reason number 1, Kyle Shanahan is a Super Bowl caliber head coach. You can absolutely win a Super Bowl with Kyle Shanahan. There are some coaches in the NFL, Sean McDermott comes to mind, where you always have a good regular season. I can never see Sean McDermott, a Sean McDermott-led team, winning a Super Bowl. I will never see it happening. I can absolutely see a Kyle Shanahan coach team winning a Super Bowl. You want to know why? I see so much of Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan in the sense that both coaches are tremendous regular season coaches. And for a long stretch, 20 years of Andy Reid's career, the biggest thing with Andy Reid was great regular season head coach, can't win the big game. Reid has just shown you don't have to break through in year 1, 2, or 3 in order to kind of be a Super Bowl caliber coach. You don't have to win early in your career to be able to finally get one. It can happen later on in your career. And I think Reid is the perfect example of you can knock, have great regular season teams, have devastating postseason losses, and still bounce back and still finally break through. Reid should absolutely, right now, for every 49ers fan that's frustrated, that should be your beacon of hope. For 20 years, awful, soul-crushing postseason losses in all different fashions. Wild card round, AFC title, NFC title games. He found new ways to not get it done. Kind of similar to Kyle Shanahan. New ways of choking leads, of not getting it done, of not winning games you should win. But Reid breaking through shows you it is possible. And Kyle Shanahan, to me, is a damn good coach that all he needs is just opportunities. He's going to break through soon. Reid showed you don't have to break through early on in your career or it's never going to happen. I feel like we kind of get in that sense as sports fans of, 2 or 3 missed opportunities. He's never going to get it done. Shanahan is not a coach that you could say he's never going to get it done. He's 44 years old, still very young in terms of head coaching standards. He is going to get a ton more cracks. He is going to get it done, I promise you. This is a guy where, if you look even at Sunday's game, he didn't lose the Niners the game. I thought of the 3 Super Bowls he's been in as a coordinator or head coach, I thought Sunday was his best coaching job. He was aggressive. He had, I thought, for the most part, good play calls. I like the trick play that he had in the first half, so he's not afraid to dig into his bag and get creative. I thought for the most part, he coached a pretty good game that put the Chiefs in a position to win. I think at the end of the day, the biggest thing is he got Mahomes. He got Mahomes, just like so many great teams got Brady'd back in the day. That Sunday to me is not a game to write off Kyle Shanahan, to say he's never going to get it done. He's got to be 5. That's all nonsense. He lost the game, had a 10-point lead. This was, I thought, the most winnable Super Bowl out of the 2 that the 49ers have played the Chiefs. But with that said, I still have all the faith in the world. He is going to break through soon. He possesses every quality, every trait, every characteristic a head coach needs to win a Super Bowl. He's going to get it done, I promise you. That's reason number 1. Shanahan is a Super Bowl caliber coach. Reason number 2, Brock Purdy, I think, showed you on Sunday, he is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. You got the quarterback and you got the head coach right now. If you're the Niners, to win it all sooner rather than later. Again, just like Shanahan, you can't sit here and tell me that Brock Purdy lost the Niners the game. I know, especially now in the NFL, the first two guys we blame when a team loses, head coach, quarterback. You can't do that on Sunday if you're the Niners. Brock Purdy played pretty damn well. Made some tight window throws, made some big-time clutch throws when his offensive line, especially in the first half, gave him time to sit back there in the pocket. He was dissecting that Chiefs secondary left and right. He was accurate. Like, a lot of the missed throws that are going to get diagnosed, that are going to get put on social media, honestly, for me, I credit more the Chiefs' defense than I do criticize Purdy. Chris Jones was unblockable, especially the second half. He was a beast. He threw a lot of the timing off. But that throw in the end zone to Debo that was overthrown, the third down in overtime that forced the Niners to settle for a field goal instead of getting a touchdown where Brandon Ayuk is open in the back of the end zone, that was pressure by the Chiefs, forcing Brock Purdy to throw the ball earlier than he wanted. It's not a bad play by Purdy. That's a great defensive play by the Niners. By the Chiefs. Third down coming out of the 2-minute warning. First down if you're the Niners helps bleed clock and maybe put you in a position where you could kick a game-winning field goal or score a touchdown with no time left on the clock to get Patrick Mahomes. All-out blitz, ball's batted down. That's, for me, that's more on Shanahan play calling. You got to be ready for the blitz than anything else. But anything you want to say negatively about Purdy can't be applied here. The guy's a lightning rod. I don't know why. I don't know why so many people want to hate on Purdy and say he sucks, he's not that good. He played at a level that was good enough to win a Super Bowl. And I think he showed you in the biggest moment of his career, he's not going to shrink. He's not going to wilt like a flower. He played well, and he made some big time plays in the fourth quarter and overtime to keep the Niners alive. Purdy showed you on Sunday that he's absolutely a quarterback that you can have on your team that can lead you to winning a Super Bowl. And then finally, the reason number 3 has to do with Purdy in the sense that this team, this core group of guys, are going nowhere. Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Brandon Ayuk, the true core and heartbeat of this team, they are going to be together for the next 3 years. In part because Brock Purdy is cheap enough to keep a lot of those highly paid guys around for the next 3 years. And you got Brock Purdy, if you're the Niners, under contract for the next 2 years. So at the earliest, you're going to see a Brock Purdy extension is going to be next year, after next season. And usually what we've seen from those extensions, right, is that the big money kicks in a year or two down the road. It's an extension to the rookie contract that quarterback currently has. So if Brock Purdy gets an extension after next year, that's not going to kick in for another year or two after that. We are talking about bare minimum right now, a 3-year window with this core group of 49ers right now that are going to be back and are going nowhere. That's huge. This is not your last crack. This is not the last dance, if you will, for the Niners to finally get a ring before Debo goes elsewhere and Bosa goes somewhere else and Fred Warner gets out of his prime. A lot of these guys are under contract, are going to be there for the next 3 years, and are going to be in their primes for the next 3 years. This team, I know we haven't had free agency yet, and we haven't had the draft yet. But you look at right now at this point as we're recording, right after the Super Bowl. This is still the most talented roster in the NFL. You're going to be in the mix every single year. And you look right now in the rest of the NFC, Lions, right, showed you some real fight here and some real progress in this previous postseason. Otherwise, there's not really a team you look at that says, oh, yeah, they're going to stand in the way of the Niners. Now, I think for me, right now, the way too early Super Bowl prediction for next year, the Niners are my pick to win the Super Bowl. I am big on this team. And even in a loss, even in a frustrating, gut-wrenching loss in the Super Bowl that we saw on Sunday night, I still have a lot of faith right now because I think Kyle Shanahan showed you, despite the loss and another double-digit blown lead, he, like Andy Reid, can and will break through and win a Super Bowl. Brock Purdy showed you he is absolutely good enough to win you a Super Bowl. And this team, this insanely talented team right now, is still in their prime and are going nowhere for the next 3 years. you're going to have plenty of bites at the apple. And I guarantee you, we are going to see the Niners in the next 3 years win a Super Bowl. Lock it up. If you like what you hear, make sure you check out and subscribe to the Hick at Night podcast, Night spelled Nite. And if you are listening right now on the podcast feed, number one, thank you. But also make sure you check out our YouTube page. Ryan Hickey is the channel name. Make sure you do check that out and subscribe to the channel. A lot of visual content going your way. Before we do get out of here, a big shout out to Eli from Chicago, big listener. Appreciate your support. But this is not going to make a 49ers fan feel any better. But with that said, I think your future's still really bright. And the Kyle Shanahan hate or doubt, just remember, Andy Reid, a lot of doubt, a lot of questions for 20 years of his career before he finally broke through and got his first. Andy Reid has showed you it could take a while, but not winning the first time, not winning the second time is not a death sentence, meaning you'll never win. Shanahan and the 49ers will break through. I guarantee it.